5,400 emails apparently exist, all involving Robert L. Peters. Who is that guy? That's our president. That's his pseudonym. That's his AKA. When he was committing crimes, he didn't want to do it under his own name, so they created a pseudonym. And the archives, the National Archives, apparently have a bunch of them on record, but they are redacted and we can't see them. But maybe Congress will be able to uncover them. From Just the News, the National Archives, they acknowledge 5,400 pseudonym emails. And they're being sued for their release, all connected to then VP Joe Biden's pseudonym accounts. And he used this account to forward government information and to discuss business with his son, Hunter, and others. On Monday, the Southeastern Legal Foundation filed a lawsuit to compel the agency, the National Archives, to turn it over. We're very familiar with NARA. Deborah Stidel Wall, the same person, in my opinion, who colluded with the Biden administration to make what Trump did technically illegal and then launched the FBI after him. The nonprofit legal group that filed the lawsuit said the archives confirmed that Biden used the pseudonyms of Robin Ware, Robert L. Peters, and J.R.B. Ware during his time in the Obama administration. The archives admission confirmed years of reporting from Just the News about the use of the personal email as VP and the pseudonym accounts, and the foundation first filed a FOIA request to the archives in 2021 on behalf of John Solomon and Just the News. They renewed its initial request last year, but the archives has failed to produce a single one of the emails. But the lawsuit's going to turn up the pressure, and other groups like the Oversight Committee and others are trying to get access to the documents. And of course, we're going to see James Comer react to that. But why, oh why, would Joe Biden need a fake name? Well, it's because, as Victor Shokin, the prosecutor who was fired at the behest of Joe Biden, he was taking bribes. Shokin, the prosecutor who is no longer a prosecutor thanks to Joe Biden, threatening to withhold $1 billion of aid, confirms that.
Do you believe that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden got bribes?
I do not want to deal in unproven facts, but my firm personal conviction is that yes, this was the case. They were being bribed. The fact that Joe Biden gave away $1 billion in U.S. money in exchange for my dismissal, my firing, isn't that alone a case of corruption?
It certainly feels like corruption. Using a pseudonym feels like corruption. Paying Hunter Biden $83,000 a month feels like corruption. And so why else would he need a fake name other than to hide from his criminality? And there's a lot of fake names out there, my friends. One way to stop some of those fake names from calling you is with our friends at Aura. My friends, this is my cell phone and the list of all the blocked numbers from spam and robocalls, even text messages with obviously fake password requests and phishing links. I was getting 10 to 20 robocalls or spam messages on my cell phone every day. Sure, you can relate. The robocallers are everywhere, and some can be pretty convincing too, almost even look legitimate. But how are they pulling this off? Well, I learned that there are data brokers out there that assemble your name, your address, your phone number, anything they can find out about you from all the times we click yes or I agree, install this, install that. They just take it, aggregate it, package it up, sell it, put it on the internet, make a nice profit. That's why Aura, the sponsor of this video, is so important. Aura provides you with a service that protects all your information with the power of multiple apps and services. And they even help manage the process of removing your data from those exact data brokers we talked about for you. It's also a vault for your passwords. It's a credit monitoring service, antivirus protection. It has identity theft insurance and so much more. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on other business that you need to attend to with peace of mind. Go to aura.com/Robert Govea to start your free 2-week trial. The link is down in the description below. You can start protecting your online life today going to aura.com/Robert Govea. Start today. We've got now James Comer says that these fake names exist. He's seen the documents, but unfortunately the National Archives has redacted huge portions of them. And they're going to continue to go after them to see if we can see what's behind those dreaded black boxes.
Chairman of the House Oversight Committee is James Comer, and he joins me now. Congressman, why would Biden use pseudonyms? Any idea?
That's a great question. Why would he set up with his family 20 shell companies? companies? Why would they be receiving payments from foreign nationals from Romania, China, Ukraine, and Russia? You know, these are questions that every American should have, and that's what our investigation of Joe Biden's all about.
Have you got access to the unredacted documents from the National Archives showing these pseudonyms?
We have requested the unredacted documents, and it's very important because we believe there may be some redactions as to who was copied on those emails where Joe Biden was using a pseudonym, particularly in the case of Ukrainian policy, Stuart. So this is of the utmost importance to our national security. Not only was Joe Biden using pseudonyms, he was copying his son on some of those emails that pertain to Ukraine. When we had, prior to the pseudonyms becoming public, a transcribed interview with Devin Archer, who was on the board of Burisma, the corrupt Ukrainian energy company, along with the president's son, he testified that the owners of Burisma were squeezing Hunter Biden to call Washington to get help to fire the prosecutor, Shokin, who was investigating Burisma for corruption. So along this same time period, we found a pseudonym where he copied Hunter Biden, and it would lead one to believe that this was Joe Biden's way of copying Hunter Biden to say, okay, send it to the Burisma owners and tell them help is on the way. And 5 days later, Joe Biden flew to Ukraine to begin the process of firing the prosecutor in exchange for American tax dollars in the form of foreign aid.
Hunter.
You have a wealth of
Hang tight.
information right there. But look, it seems likely, it certainly seems possible, that there will be a government shutdown. Would that interfere with your investigations?
I don't think there'll be a government shutdown. Obviously, we're having lots of internal discussions now with respect to how to fund the budget over the next 12 months. I hope that we can agree on some cuts. I hope that we can agree on holding certain bad actors within our federal government accountable. But at the end of the day, that's a decision that it looks like the Republicans are going to have to make as a whole, because we're not getting any help from the Democrats. They want to continue to spend in oblivion. So, but I'm optimistic there won't be a shutdown. But any type of shutdown would, Stuart, interfere with our investigation. Any excuse the Biden administration can give not to be transparent with the House Oversight Committee, they're going to take that.
Congressman James Comer, thank you very much for being with us today.
All right, so they're not shutting anything down. They just lifted the debt ceiling to like $1 gajillion. There's like no limits until after the election because our Republican leaders are morons. All right, so that's James Comer. The head librarians at the National Archives, including Deborah Steidel-Wall, they've redacted the documents, and I'm sure they're doing it for national security reasons or to protect personally identifiable information or whatever their stupid justifications are. B6, B7, whatever the redaction codes are. We can't see it because it's too dangerous for someone else to know what's inside. Yeah, right. We'll see if they get to the bottom of it. Now, meanwhile, we know that Hunter Biden is back in Malibu, California, and he's staying at a pretty nice place. You know, he's got all that artwork money. He's an artist now. He somehow evolved from mucus, moldy milk COVID paintings into some paintings that look pretty good. I'm kind of curious who the actual artist is on some of those. But you see the giant scam is still well underway. And so he's now back in Malibu. And now the question is the Secret Service also living in Malibu? And who's paying for their $16,000 a month expenditures?
The Secret Service is paying $16,000 a month now to stage near Hunter Biden in Malibu. Who's paying for that?
That's a question for the Secret Service.
Okay, Hunter Biden is reportedly selling art to pay for his $15,800 a month rent in Malibu. How can you guarantee that people are not going to be buying this art to gain favor with the president?
That is a question for Hunter Biden and his representatives.
It's a
I know. I hear your question.
Buyers got a job from the Biden administration. Can you guarantee that there's no quid pro quo?
I hear your question. I'm not going to get involved in this. That is a question for Hunter Biden's representatives.
But we know that from a Hunter Biden associate now that he sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden.
That's true.
Are you confident that he has stopped doing that?
That is a question for Hunter Biden.
If somebody is selling the appearance of access to the White House, that is a question for the White House.
No, that is your I don't know how you're perceiving that.
Sworn testimony by Devin Archer. He said,
I am just not, Peter. I'm just not going to get into this. I'm just not.
So, this testimony, since the last time that I was in here, Devin Archer talks about how he and Hunter Biden tried to profit off the Biden brand. What is the Biden brand?
I'm not going to get into it from here. I'm not going to get into it from here. we're going to move on. Go ahead.
Thanks, Corrine. Thanks for nothing. All of those are very good questions that definitely implicate the Biden White House. She can't even say anything, just doesn't want to respond. Feeling the pressure over there at the White House. So 5,400 redacted emails. There is a treasure trove of information out there about the Biden crime family. They just got to find it and crack it open. Once they do, the floodgates will probably start, and there'll be some serious questions about whether they have to keep him on the ticket or not. But of course, we're going to continue to cover it, my friends. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining us as we continue to cover this, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.